We doing this?
We doing this.
All right, let's get started. Hey guys, I'm Dave.
And I'm Jasmine.
And this is Engineered by God. And I'm not sure about you guys, but for me, the last couple weeks, and honestly maybe months, have been trash spiritually. I think I had one morning where I'm like, this evening I'm going to spend time with God. And that might have been before Corona. It hasn't been that bad, but I have been really inconsistent recently.
Yeah. And same goes for me, really. I think maybe just a couple days ago, I started doing my at least 30 minutes with God a day goal. So that's only been, it's maybe been 3 days of that. So like we definitely needed this kind of jumpstart or refresh with our relationships with God.
Right. So the purpose of this video is to kind of talk about 5 things that we like to do or that comes to our mind when we're kind of a little stuck spiritually.
Yeah.
And for me, I know the first thing that comes to my mind when I'm trying to restart where I am or jumpstart where I am spiritually is giving myself some grace. That's a big thing. I mean, I think we've all been there where maybe we kind of felt like we left God on red or we just neglected him altogether. Maybe we got caught up in some entanglements during that period. But whatever it is, I think sometimes the separation makes us feel like maybe we aren't worthy or we haven't like earned the right to come back to God. But that isn't true at all. The Bible actually tells us that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And I think a lot of us kind of already know that, but maybe we haven't like really received it all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point of having all of this amazing grace from God if you're not gonna like extend any to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like when I'm in a funk, I have to remember that, you know, it's not based off of my performance. He loves me because he's love. So I think wherever you are, extend that same grace to yourself, and use today to be the first day to walk towards God again.
Yeah. So the second step is just to clear space. And by that we mean to clear space in your life for God. There could be a lot of things that are getting in the way of you spending that daily time with God. So the first thing you want to do to clear space is you want to acknowledge what those things are. What are those distractions in your life?
And let's be real. You know what those distractions are. You know what they are. Like if you're watching a Netflix series a day, every day, for like a month, you probably don't have a lot of space for God in your life right now. And some things like that are just time wasters. I know for me, I'm on Instagram, then I'm on Twitter, then I'm back on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all while watching a TV show, right? But other things are a little more detrimental to your relationship with God altogether, like a toxic relationship or pornography.
And then once you acknowledge those things, then you want to address them. So you can address them in a variety of ways probably, but for us, I think we either have to cut those things out or just limit the amount of time that you're giving to those things. So whether that's just maybe limiting it to maybe I can only watch TV from 8 to 10 or something like that. But the whole thing is to be intentional with getting rid of those distractions.
Right, and that intentionality is key. You're not just going to accidentally start watching less TV or consuming less social media. It's going to take an active effort. So if you're intentional about spending time with God in the morning, or you're intentional about, hey, I want to read a couple chapters a day, like, you're going to end up having some growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so the third thing that comes to mind when trying to jumpstart spiritual growth is connecting with other people.
Oh my gosh. So
But seriously, connecting with other people, whether you're new to the faith or that church grandma who's probably in a prayer meeting right now praying for you. Connecting with other people is an important part in your spiritual walk. I mean, think about it. If you're surrounded around a bunch of people who are also being in pursuit, I should say, of being like Christ, it's going to have an effect on you.
Yeah. And I think those relationships can look different. There may be some relationships where maybe have more of a mentorship role. So that's how they're going to impact you and help you get back on track. They're going to be like I said, mentoring you or providing guidance and really pulling you along. And then there will be those other relationships where maybe you're the one who's taking more of the leadership role and you're the one pouring into other people. Either way, they're both types of relationships are very valuable in your growth and reconnecting with God.
Right. Like for us, for example, we have a small group. It's just 4 of us. But sometimes we'll all look at the same verse and come up with completely different ideas about what that verse means. But those ideas are all beneficial for all of us to grow. And another thing that's really good by connecting with others is you can find accountability partners. I know for some people it can be hard to share like your insecurities or your weaknesses or maybe some things that you haven't told anyone. But by finding an accountability partner and pushing through the vulnerability, sometimes you can find breakthroughs, growth, and maturity.
And don't do what we did and have your accountability partner be your spouse. Okay? I mean,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't help. No, it doesn't. It needs to be somebody where you got to feel some sort of like you don't want to have to go to them and say, oh, I did this. Especially with like working out. Nope.
But yeah, ultimately connecting with other people is going to put you on the right path to deepening your relationship with God.
Yeah. Okay, so the 4th thing that we typically try to do is to start small. And I know that this one is a big one for me because I oftentimes just try to do too much and try to do too much too soon. So I may say, oh, I've been a Christian for this long. This is where I should be in my relationship with God. But I'm really right here. So now I gotta cram, like you're studying for a test kind of, and you haven't been studying, you just want to cram and spend all day with God. But that's great. But a lot of times that is not sustainable in the beginning.
Right.
Beginning.
Like for me, I'll be like, I'm going to read the whole Bible by next week. Next week rolls around, like, so how far did you get? I'm in Genesis. Genesis what?
1.
Chapter 2? Well, I'm almost at chapter 2. I'm in chapter 1, but I'm almost at chapter 2. But yeah, like, instead of trying to read so much all at once, like the entire New Testament, just commit to reading a couple verses or maybe a couple chapters a day. And the great thing is when you take off those small pieces at a time, you can develop consistency.
Because when you have those small pieces and you're hitting those small like goals or small intentions you set for yourself, it allows you to build that momentum, and then you want to keep moving forward. And like Dave said, you get to build that consistency, and that consistency is what's going to help form a habit. And once it's a habit, it's pretty much just second nature. You're going to wake up and just automatically go straight to the words, straight to having your prayer time with God. And once that's an everyday occurrence, that is really what's going to help progress you in your spiritual growth.
Right. So remember, if you're stuck and you're trying to grow, start small. So the 5th and final thing that comes to my mind, honestly, when I'm kind of stuck and I'm trying to jumpstart my spiritual growth, is this top secret thing that I learned while I was meditating on a mountain. The Holy Spirit came to me and whispered into my ear to just do it. I know that kind of feels like a cheat, but seriously, just do it. Don't wait for the perfect Bible plan. Don't wait for God to open up the heavens and write down on a scroll exactly what you're supposed to do every day for the rest of your life. Yeah. Just take whatever step that is in the direction of God. Just take that step, whether it's reading a chapter a day, or a prayer a day or joining a small group, whatever it is, just do it.
And really, we feel like, I mean, these things have helped us, so we feel like if you do these steps as well, it can help you. But if you have any other suggestions, any other steps or tips, feel free to leave those things in the comments.
Right, like we said, we want to be a community. We want to grow with you guys. We want you guys to grow with us. So leave whatever you've done for yourself or maybe your family to kind of grow spiritually when you've been feeling kind of stuck.
Yeah. And also, if you have any other video ideas or things that you would like to talk about and bring up on the channel, then leave those in the comments as well.
Right. And of course, since this is YouTube, if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe for future videos.
Yeah. Yep.
Till next time.
See ya.